Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing tonight? I just want to talk a little bit about tonight, a few things, and I made a sale today off of Craigslist, the app. I also use Let Go and Offer Up and Garage Sale, I do believe. But just some things that I look for when I'm out at a yard sale or picking things that I know that'll move pretty quickly, and I can take them to the flea market. I can take them to the swap meet. I can put them on social media, and they move. They you don't sit on them very long. And some of the things I didn't know about. I've been doing this now right at about 5 years, so some of the things I was just like, whatever. You walk by it, and sometimes you can spend a little bit of money and make a lot. And that was an instant like today. And the first thing I was going to talk about are bats, whether they be for softball, baseball, uh, any type of bat, a sporting bat, can bring sometimes really big money. The bat that I sold today was a Mikan back bat, and I paid $5 at a yard sale. Sold it for $60 today, so that's a $55 profit. And yeah, I think it was on Craigslist 2 weeks. Uh, I started the price off at 125, got no hits, slowly brought it down. When I listed it at 70, I got an offer of 60, and of course, who's not going to take 55 off $5? But bats are very, very popular, and depending on where you live and the community you're in, the community I'm in is very heavily softball orientated. We have a large retirement area right here in this area, and you can find really cheap bats and flip them really quick, but they have to be composite. And if you don't know what composite is, then you need to go and figure out what composite is, uh, because you will buy a non-composite bat and won't flip it at all. So, and I've done that. Learn from experience. You're lucky to get your money back. Uh, some brands that I like to look out for: Easton, Mikan. Those are good bats. You also too want to run your hand up and down the bat, make sure there's no really dents in there. Feel the bat. Take a look at the grips on the grips. Make sure they're not worn. If they are, that you may have to replace them, or it could reduce the value of the bat. But that's just something that sometimes you walk by at a yard sale and you don't think about buying. And sometimes there can be good profit. Other bats I've flipped have been baseball bats, and even t-ball bats I've flipped for picked them up for $1 at a yard sale and flipped them for $40-$50. Bats are very expensive. So be on the lookout for them. And if you have your phone, like most times we do, just pick up the bat and hit your eBay app or whatever you Google it on, or whatever your search engine is, and take a look. But there's good money in them. The next thing is, of course, everyone knows electronics. Electronics are big. Cameras are big. I don't really mess with them all that much here and there. Digital cameras, yes, I will, because I've sold a few. I know a little bit about them. I'm no expert whatsoever, but I know that just about anything electronic I can make that's $5 I can make money on. So I'll gamble $5. The one thing I was going to tell you, which is mainly my bread and butter, is tools, and be on the lookout for tools. Mainly because a lot of time people who are selling the tools, you never know, might not know much about the tools, and will sell tools at a very low price. And if you know your tools and you know the name brands of your tools, like your Snap-on, your S&K, your Matco, Craftsman. And Craftsman, check to make sure it's made in the USA. You want to check to make sure that the tools are functional. But tools are a very big hot item. They're worth their weight in gold. And anytime I go to any flea market or any swap meet, they're a guaranteed sell, and we always try to bring tools with us no matter what. If you don't know about tools and you do this for a living or a side hustle, you may want to look into tools and learn about tools. Tools can bring big money on eBay and are a hot commodity. I sell a lot of tools on eBay, and I can tell you that uh, name brand tools you can make a lot of money on if you can get them at the right price. Some of the success stories I've had with tools is I've literally Bolton, bought Snap-on tools, Snap-on or Mac or other name brand tools at a very low price, uh, and sold them on eBay sometimes within hours, and made a very high profit off of it. Those of you who flip and go to actual flea markets and swap meets, uh, one good thing that is a good booth payer, what I like to call it, maybe, is something that's going to pay for your booth or your spot that day, and that's clothes. And depending on the name brand of the clothes, you can pick them up. I've picked up clothes as little as a quarter a piece, or you buy them, talk to someone, and you buy them 10 cents a piece. You buy out everything they have, depending on the quality of the clothing. You can easily take that to the flea market and get $1 to $2 a piece, depending on what it is. And people love clothes, and they gotta have clothes to wear them, and they're always looking for a deal on them. If you have some nice name brand things, you can get rid of them really cheap and make your money back on them. Anything you pay 10 cents on and have a $2 return on, that's a huge profit. You can't beat that. So we talked about bats, electronics, tools, clothes, and the last thing I was going to talk about that's kind of peculiar, that most people kind of don't look at, are fishing reels. And depending on what type of fishing reel it is, and the shape that it is, and the model that it is, and all of that can bring very big profits. Sometimes I can pick up fishing reels, maybe five less dollars, and turn around and sell them on eBay, sometimes $60 to $100. And it just depends on the model, depends on the condition that it's in. It can sometimes can depend on the color that they are in, and it a lot of factors in. But if you don't know much about fishing reels and you are buying and reselling either for a living or as a side hustle, look into fishing reels, because you probably see them out there on your yard sale ventures, and sometimes old ones can have some value to them, depending on the model. I've seen it, I've done it, and if you can sometimes are able to work with the homeowner who's selling them or the customer selling them, and buy a lot of them and get them under $5 a piece, a lot of times you can make big time money. And that's just something that a lot of people don't look at, and excuse me, and they don't they skip over when they're out yard sailing, because it's just not something that they see profit in. But some of your reels can be new, well, in the $400 to $800 range, and that's for a fishing reel, and you can sometimes get half of that depending on what you have. If you don't know much about fishing reels, look into them. Shimano reels, that those are always high dollar reels. Excuse me. But those are just 5 little things that I think that, you know, are good to know when you're out at a yard sale or out at an estate sale. Take a look at, you know, we talked about the bats, the electronics, tools too. A lot of times vintage tools can have a very high dollar mark on them, and you can pick them up at estate sales or yard sales for $1 or even less, and turn $30 to $40 profit on them on eBay. So, you know, these are just some things that you're gonna, you know, low buy-in with high dollar yield, and that's what we want as in this business is we want to buy low and sell high. You know, that's everybody's goal. But that's gonna be it for tonight. Hopefully get on here and post another video for you. We'll talk about some other stuff. Hopefully gonna buy a storage unit soon. Been busy with other things with work and life and kids, and maybe we'll talk about that later too, but you never know. But hope everyone have a good evening. The holidays are coming up, so everyone stay safe. All right, bye.